So we're going to do this. And next I'm going to do also, I'm going to go ahead and get this little red annotate deal right here. So we got this right here. So I've got this. Okay, so this right here, this is your top view right here. And so you'd see this is blue. So if you, as you were drawing this object, you have this top view. This is the right side. So you'd have this red right side view. And this would, or the front view. And then over here, this would be the other view. So this is what you would see as you work it. Notice that as you see this right here, you see these dashed lines. The dashed lines indicate there's a feature that's not visible, that you're not seeing it in this particular view. So this is a classic representation as far as how drafting takes place. This is actually how things work right there. You also have over here, you have, this is a classic orthographic projection where you have the front view down here, the right side over here, and the top view right here. And those three views put together describe a basic object right there. The 3D objects that we saw earlier, these three things put together give the description of this right here. That's actually what you're looking at. So you have that right there. And then you have some various pictorials that you have right here, where as you're drawing in 3D, you have these. This is if you're doing 2D. And then you have a couple other things here, such as unidirectional dimensions, as well as align dimensions, which I don't think we see right there, but that's okay. Then you got 6 sides projected here. Let me see this. And then we talked about dimensions a little bit. And there's a few things about dimensions you want to do. You want to avoid crossing lines when you're working dimensions right there. You want to avoid doing that. Also, you can stagger parallel dimensions to provide clarity. You can actually do that kind of a thing. Keep dimensions grouped, you know, as opposed to keeping them together as best you can. And place dimensions on the views displaying the object's true shape. That's what you want to do. So you've got that right there. Okay, so there's a few things. And then dimensioning. You want to dimension, and you don't want to duplicate dimensions. So as you're putting dimensions on, there are times where you actually want to put dimensions in and times that you don't want to do that because it just gets the drawing cluttered. And that's a little breakdown of dimensions. And that's pretty much about it. That's kind of some of the basics right there as far as that goes. So when we get into this right here, as we get into our particular situation here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be applying these to architecture. And as you apply these to architecture, what you're going to be doing essentially is this. You guys still hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. All right, good. For some reason, I'm not seeing. Okay, I want to see this. Okay, good. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this over the side here. And okay, good. So over here, what you've got is you've actually got this kind of a thing, and this is what we're going to apply to architecture. So what we would do, what we would say then is this view up here, this blue view right here, that would be your plan view. You're looking down at an object at your plan view. Okay, so your floor plan typically is going to be what we typically think of when we think of blueprints. And then we'll have these views over here on the sides. You'd have these right along here. And these would be your elevations. Your elevations are actually to describe this particular item, all the sides that are involved in it. And then you have a bottom view right here. And we're not really going to do a bottom view so much, but we will be doing a foundation plan. So all these elements, we will be using and applying them as we get into architecture right here. So these are the things we're going to put together. These are some things that are going to be helpful as we get into this right here. So let's see here, what else we have here. Yes, you have that. And yeah, that gives a little bit of a start here. So I might jump into some other things in a minute here, but for right now, that gets us started. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to close all those. So I'm not going to save any changes. Okay. So once we've done that, now what we're going to do is we're going to get into this week's this discussion, which is actually over here. We've got essentially we're going to be getting into these kinds of things right here, and we'll be getting into the different assignments that we're going to get into this week. So this week we're going to finish some of the basic CAD items that we've been working on. So let me just kind of go ahead and open that up real quickly. I'm going to go out here. And I'm going to go to downloads, which I think we have from last week, which is basically working with the, let's see here, midfall. Okay, let's see here. This would have been, yeah, actually, let's see here. AutoCAD Novice, practice drawings. Yeah, not there. We actually have, yeah, here we go. And so this is what we were working on. And so as I have this right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and just do this. We'll go ahead and rotate it once. Okay, so we're going to scroll down here. So we did A last week, yeah, and then we did B, and then we did C, and then we did D. And then last week, which was due tonight, there was E, there was F, there was G, and then there was H. Okay, so we have all these different items that we're putting together here. Okay, now tonight, what we're going to be working on, we're going to be going a little further. We're going to be doing this right here. This is a drawing I. And so again, what we're using right now, I'm using these drawings right now to basically just build our CAD vocabulary. And this is another one right here that we have here. And this one, as you get into this right here, is actually going to be allowing you to learn how to do polar tracking, as well as how to do a lot of, take a lot of the different items that we've been working with and begin to put these into effect right here, how to actually place these items right here. And then we'll have one more, which is drawing J, drawing I and J. And then there's another one that we're going to be working on, and that is tonight we're going to be working on this right here, floor plan 1. Okay, and floor plan 1 looks like this here. Okay, this actually is actually going to allow us to do our first floor plan drawing. And we'll go here, and this is what this one looks like. So the floor plan drawing looks like this, and we'll be working on these 3 drawings tonight. So we're working on floor plans and how those work right there. So we'll be getting into this, and there's a few things about this that as we get into it will be really helpful as we begin to move forward into this situation. Okay, so you got all those things. That's where we're going. So let's go back over to here, and let us go back, and let's go to here. And so getting into this right now, going into this, we did our CAD, we started with our AutoCAD tutorials. Those are always available to you guys anytime you want to get some background. CAD Basics Week 1, this is kind of the ground we've begun to cover. And I also had some downloadable drawings you can actually use here, Dots 1 and Dots 2, which was assigned. We went through the quiz last week, 2 quizzes, and then I had a few other things out here. And let's see here, tutorial, basic drawing and editing commands. Let's see, yeah, it's a little exercise that I put out there. And then we had this construction concepts. We're getting into this week, construction concepts for week 3. And as we get into this right now, I want to kind of go over this. And this is going to be just basic stuff, but I just want you guys to understand how this works. So let's just go through this quiz. And this is a quiz that's actually part of your curriculum. We're going to go through it together. I'll give you the answers so you guys can go ahead and get into this. So what we're going to do here is this is here what we're going to do. Let me move this out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and begin this. So as I begin this, you're going to use one of the choices below for each question, and spelling does count. You can cut and paste these if you want to, but use one of the choices below for each question. So let's go ahead and start this. Okay, and so you've got foundation plan, elevation plan, electrical plan, site plan, floor plan, plumbing plan, and section plan. These are typically the bare minimum that you will need for a particular architectural project. So this is what we got here. So a drawing that displays a plan view of walls, doors, and windows is called what? What would that be?
Is it a floor plan?
Yeah, that'd be a floor plan. And so you can go ahead and just type that in, floor plan, and you actually have to, spelling does count. All right, and then a drawing that displays a plan view of the basement walls and underground elements is, what would that be?
The foundation plan?
Yeah, foundation plan, exactly. So your foundation plan. And we are going to draw each of these. Now, a drawing that displays the orthographic projection of one side of a structure is a what?
Elevation.
Yep, elevation. We'll say an elevation plan. Okay, so you got that. Okay, next, a drawing that displays a cut through the body of a building perpendicular to the horizon line is a what?
Section plan?
You got that right, section plan. All right, and so you got a section plan. And a drawing that displays a landscape architectural plan and a detailed engineering drawing of proposed improvements to a given lot is what?
Site plan.
Site plan, got that right. So site plan is exactly right. All right, and a drawing that displays wiring, light fixtures, and switches is a what?
Electrical.
Yes, exactly, electrical plan. Okay, and then a drawing that displays piping, water supply, toilets, and sinks is a what?
Plumbing plan.
Plumbing plan. Yep. So this is basic review. This is something that you guys probably knew all that. We didn't need to go through this, but I just wanted to kind of go over it again because this is the direction we're going to go. We're not going to do the electrical plan or the plumbing plan, but those would be part of actually building a house. Actually, years ago, back when I lived in Michigan, I actually built a house. And when I did that, I actually went through all this and I actually designed the house all by myself. That's good. Okay. All right, there we go. And then to finish submitting it, you go ahead and click on OK. And I get my results. I got 7 out of 7. So we did that right there. And so we're good to go. So this is how we go ahead and begin to do this kind of work right here. So we got that going on. So that was that right there. And now that we have that under our belt, there's actually more that we could get into right here. But that's going to serve as the basic foundation of what we're going to work on right here. So then as we get into this further, what we're going to get into is we're actually going to draw that particular structure. And again, it looks like this here. This is a floor plan. And the floor plan looks like this. We're going to get to that. But first, we're going to do the other 2 plans right here. So this one right here is actually comprised of your walls, doors, and windows. There's some architectural elements here that would be a toilet, a sink, and a tub. We have these in here. So this is what we use for that. So we have these elements that are in here right now, and this is what we will use to go ahead and construct this. So we have that in place. That is what we'll use for this here. Okay, very good. Okay, so we have that in place. Okay, so getting on into this a little bit further now, what we'll do is we will go over here and we'll go to this. So that was construction concepts week 3, some of the basic stuff right here. There also is here architecture scale practice, which I find is a little too difficult when we're not in class. I used to always show my students that in class, but a little difficult to do that without all being together. So we're going to go jump into, this is your floor plan 1 assignment week 3, and we already talked about this. We saw that works, but we're going to back up a little bit and we're going to work on these other 2 plans right here. So the other 2 plans are the ones that we spoke of, which are actually over here. This is the one we have right here. This is drawing eye, which we will work on right now. So we're going to work on drawing eye. As we get into this right now, we are going to learn how to do a drawing like this. And again, we're going to be using some basic elements, and you're going to notice that one of the first elements you see here is a donut. There actually is an element in AutoCAD called a donut. And when you have a donut, you have 2 things. You have an ID. That stands for inside diameter. You might be familiar with this if you've seen any kind of plumbing or manufacturing plans. But ID is inside diameter, OD is outside diameter. So that means it's got a diameter that's actually being depicted inside and then outside, and it's a 1/4 inch between the 2. And then you also have a polyline right here. The polyline right here allows you to define a width, which you have right here. So these are actually small polylines. We actually, we talked about the polylines last week. Yes, we did. We definitely talked about polylines. Now we're going to talk about them this week, and so we can actually put a width along with them. So as I have always worked with you guys, we'll continue on because I've actually got here a template. So I'm going to go here to the AutoCAD Intro Assignments week 2. And as I go here, here is the drawing eye template right here. Again, it's on week 2, and actually week 2 in AutoCAD Intro Assignments week 2. And it's actually this one, drawing eye template, which is the hub. So I'm going to click on there. I'm going to download the hub. There's the drawing eye template down there. So what we do is, as we have done each time, we're going to go to new, and then it asks us for a template. We're going to go out to find the template, and the template is going to be, and I actually have a little zoom panel up here I got to move, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go out to find that, which is going to be under my okay, that's going to be, actually, let's go out to here. We can do it this way. Yes, we can go out to here and we go to downloads. And when I go to downloads, it is like this here, drawing eye templates. So I go ahead and open this up. Now, one thing I want to point out is it starts off with our donut layer right there. And you got circles, you got dimensions, you got donut, and so forth. So we're going to start with the donut. Now, the donut is located right here under the draw panel. You've actually, now these are basically drop-down panels that give you more information. And one of them down here at the bottom, this is the drop-down panel, which actually gives you additional tools, such as splines and so forth. And one of the tools here is actually right here called right there's called a donut. So I'm going to click on the donut command. Now, when you start the donut command, you want to pay attention to what the prompt is. So the first thing I'm being asked is, if you look down on, if you look at my prompt or the command line, they both say the same thing, which is donut, specify the inside diameter of the donut. So what's the inside diameter? Well, we'd seen before what that was. If we go over here, the inside diameter is 5.75, outside is 6. So we'll go ahead and we'll tell it 5.75 for the inside, and then it prompts us for the outside, which happened 6. Okay, now here it is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it right there. And that is what that looks like. That's what your donut looks like. It's a solid filled circle right there, like a kind of like an O-ring kind of a thing. So we're using that as the basis for building this. We're going to use that for building it. Now, one thing that I want you to notice here is there are different kinds of layers here. We use donut, and then there's a blue circle on the inside here. And this blue circle has a diameter of 4.5. And then I have a couple more diameter circles, 7.25 and 8.25. So I'm going to build those out right now. So I'm going to do those. So I'll go ahead and draw those 3 circles. So to do this, this is just a circle center diameter. So I can release this by pinning it. I go to circle center diameter, and I'll go ahead and start here, and I'll start there, and I'll type in 4.5 like that. Gives me that. And then one thing about this, if I right click and go to repeat circle, and if the next one's got a diameter 7.25, watch what happens if I just use right click. If I type in 7.25, all right, that makes it way too large. Okay, that's too large. Now, it made it too large because what happens is by default, if you just use the repeat command, AutoCAD is going to give you the center radius option. So I would actually have to go back up here and choose center diameter again. And then I would get exactly what I'm after, which would be 7.25 like that. And then I'll do it one more time, repeat circle, and I'll go here. Oh, and if I do this, now here, rather than give it a radius, it's asking for radius, I can actually tell it, you know, instead of that, AutoCAD, I want to give you a diameter. So I just click here and type in 8.25. So you can override the default. So when you are, when you've done your donut and your 3 circles, is going to look like this. That's basically what you're going to start with. And then that is where we would move from there. So we got that. Now, once we got that, you'll notice that right here, there's this polyline with a width of 0.05. Well, how do I do that? Well, first of all, it's starting at the very top and going down. So I can actually use that. And what I want to do here is I'm going to go here and change my current layer to P-lines, which stands for polylines. And I'm going to make a polyline starting from the very top here. Now, to do that, I'm going to have to turn on an object snap right here. This could be helpful. That's actually going to turn off this one. And I'm going to turn on quadrant right here. I'm going to turn on quadrant right there. I'll turn off extension. That's going to turn on quadrant right there. And when I turn on quadrant, that's going to allow me to go ahead and to draw my polyline. So I'll go here, and I'll go ahead and start here and click on this polyline. Now, when I click on this polyline, I can go ahead and go down here and stop it there. And when I do that, it doesn't have any thickness to it. Okay, so we learned before, though, that polylines have other properties. So if I double click on it, it actually allows me to, when I double click on it, come on, you.
I think you pressed the regular line instead of polyline just now.
You're exactly right. I did.
Okay.
So we'll go to polyline, and we'll do a polyline. So go here and go to there. And once you've done that, we'll double click on it. And when you double click on it, you then have the ability to change the width on it, which is right here. When you double click on it, that brings up the editing options, which is pretty true of most AutoCAD elements. So click on width, and the width should be 0.05, boom. And then we have that. We hit our enter key. Now at this point, we got that. Now, it would be a bit of an issue for me to draw enough lines through here and just keep on doing this. It's like, well, that's a lot of work for me to pull lines around. But there's a very excellent tool that I can use that makes life a whole lot easier on me. So what I'm looking at right now is I got this right here, and I'll just make this easy on you. There's 48 of these going all around. There's 48 of those, 48 of those orange polylines. So I want to rotate them all the way around. So I'm going to use an array. There's several. We looked at a rectangular array last week. Now we're going to use a polar array. So I go to polar array. It asks me, what do I want to make an array out of? It's going to be this polyline. So I click on that polyline, and it's selected. Then hit my enter key. Then it asks me for a center point. Well, the center point is going to be where I want it to revolve. In other words, what's the sun and what's going to be the orbit of my Earth here? So I'm going to go ahead and go here. This is the center right here. And then it gives me a preview. It says, okay, I'll go ahead and rotate these around there. And I tell it I want 48. Now watch what happens here. I type in 48, hit my enter key, and boom, there it is. Pretty cool. So what I just did there is I created a polar array with very little effort. So we did that. Now, the next one I have here, actually, I've got these green lines right here, and these green lines, there's 24 of these, I'll just tell you. So I'm gonna draw these, and there's 24 of these. So I'll do the same kind of a thing I did before, changing my layer to the lines layer. And then I'll go from line, and I'll go from here straight down. I go from there to there. When I do that, I then want to do a polar array of that too. So I go here, and I go to polar array, and I'm going to click on this. And when I click on that, I hit my enter key, and then I want to go ahead and I want to define this. Now, sometimes you got to touch the outside here for it to actually light up, but you want to see that circle and that little plus sign there. We do that, and it gives us this, and there's going to be 24 of those. So we'll type in 24, and boom, we just went ahead and did a lot of work very rapidly just by doing a few things. But we're not done. There's more to it than this. So now that we've got that, next we're going to do right here, I'll show you how to do a couple of these, and then I'll probably wind up showing you the whole thing, what the heck. But I've got that. Now, the next thing I've got to do here, I've actually got to have lines that go through the top all the way down, and then I have to have these vertical and horizontal lines. Then I also have to have these lines that cross through. So let's go ahead, and then I have these other lines that are actually offset from the center of it. So let's first establish that. So the line, and I'll go ahead and pick a point here and go straight down like this, like that. And then I'll go here, I'll do the same thing here. Go here and go straight across like that. So when I do that, I've got a pretty good start. And now one really cool thing you can do here, I can use a mirror command. I can use the mirror command, or I can rotate it, but if we use mirror, I can select these right here, and I can click on this as my base point, and then I can go ahead and do this. And I can type in 45 is my mirror rotation angle, hit my enter key, and I go ahead and do that. Erase source objects, no. And when I do that, I then had, did that get it? No, that didn't get it, I missed it. Okay, so let me try it again. I'll mirror that again, try mirroring it. So try this again. Yeah, this is not set for 45, or it's set for 45, okay. So we'll go ahead and do that, leave it 45. And we'll here. I think I can do it this way. I know I can, just a question of how much hassle I got to get to do it. All right, that's my, okay, that is, yes, I want to be at side point of the mirror line would be, let's see here, that'd be this one right here. This would be, no, that's not it. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it's not really doing it, is it? Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. We can do this more than one way. It's actually got to be right there. So what do I do here? I pick this right here. Yeah, I pick that. Yeah, this is one way to do it, but I'll go ahead and click there. And no, so I've got that. And so I've got that in place. So that was using just the mirror command. You could also just copy them, or you could just draw lines at 45 degrees to work too. Okay, now this gets interesting here, because now I have this center line here, and then I have this line. There's like a square here, or kids, a square right here. And the square right there is a total of 3 inches across. So it's a 3-inch square. Now it's actually offset from the middle. So therefore I would have to offset the lines 1.5 on each side to get that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So I'm gonna use my offset. I'm gonna tell it 1.5, and then I'm gonna offset this line up like that, and then this one down, and this one over, and then this one over to the left like that. Oh, try it again. Like that. Okay, and I think I've got 2 there, yeah. So I've got that. Now at this point, I've got those in place, but I've got a lot of extra lines right here. So I could trim that out right there to get rid of those. So the trim command is something that we've seen. If we go to trim, I can actually trim out anything here that is not working for me right now that I don't want. And I don't want this right now. So we're good to go. Get rid of this. And you just use this to clean things up. And this is trim is really going to help you to get this drawing accomplished quickly. So we're going to go through this. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is just cleaning this up, and this is something that you're going to wind up doing with pretty much every drawing you ever work with. Trim is a great command, and it's actually greatly improved since 2020. They actually really improved it quite a bit. And so you got that, and I'm able to go ahead and get rid of these lines. So now at this point, I got that square. So now at this point, it's looking like something here. I got the square right here. And then I also have, besides this, I also have this offset right here. Now these offsets right here, these lines right here, what are these? Well, this tells me it's 0.5. The distance is 0.5 from here to here. So I also have to offset the center and go over, just go out 0.5 in each direction. These others. So I'll do that. So go to offset, and I'll go ahead and offset these. Okay, so go ahead and do that. Okay, now that I've done that, then what I want to do is I want to put in these radii, which are actually, they're actually fillets. These are fillets right here. So a diameter of 1 means there's a radius of 0.5. So the radius of 0.5 is what do I use here? Please notice I gave you the diameter right here, but it really should be a radius right here. So if your fillet's going to be a radius of 0.5 to actually make that work. So I'm going to go up here and go to fillet. I'm going to right click and change my radius to 0.5. Like this, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on this line and this line, and it does that right there. So it cleans that up, and then I'll do it over here as well. So go ahead and I'll click. Now that one, that kind of cleaned up quite a bit here. So I'll do this. I'll go here and go here. Okay, we got that right there. So now I've only got part of it, so I can mirror this to go ahead and do the same thing, or I could copy it, but I'll just go ahead and do this. I can grab these. And I'll go ahead and I'll just do both these at once, but there's a few ways to do this same thing as you go through here. As I go through here, I pull it down till it does that. And I'll hit no. And then I want to go ahead and just draw a line straight down from here. And we do that, and we're good to go. So now at this point, we've got a lot of that. Pretty much that's all the geometry I think that we need right there. And then I just have to start placing circles. So I got to place these circles. And the circles tell me right here, tells me the circles right here are all, have a diameter of, the big ones have a diameter of 0.25. Smaller ones have a diameter of 0.25, and the big ones have a diameter of 0.5. So I'll go to circle center diameter. And I'll go ahead and start. Let's see here. I've got my drawings here, by the way, keep them on my desktop. And I just so I got them available to me, which I would recommend you guys do. And I'll go ahead and start with this location right here. And we'll go ahead and make that 0.5 like that. Beautiful. Then I'll copy that around. Oh, now one thing about this right here, before I go any further, I should go ahead and put that in the holes layer, just because it makes life a lot easier. So I'll copy it right here. And I'll go from here. And I'll just begin to copy this as we go along here like this. Okay, so we have that. And that gives me those. Then I have some smaller circles that have to go in here. So the smaller circles have a diameter of 0.25. Change my current layer. There we go. So we're going to copy that around like we did before. And this is a bit of a challenge. I'll grant you that it is. A lot of what we're doing right now is just base point work. And then what I got to do is I've actually got to place one right along here so it actually aligns with these. So to do this, I'm going to touch it here and pull it along until it touches that line. So I touch it here. I'm not clicking, but I pull it down and let me track right to that point right there. Just saying you go from here and pull across and it tracks right to there. Okay. So we have that. And at that point, that is all of them. Pretty sure that's all. And then you just dimension it. So I'll go ahead and save it as save as. I'll go to my desktop. Actually, no, I won't. I'll go someplace else. Okay, and this one's going to be drawing. All right. All right, and then the other details we've gone over before, but I'll just show them to you. What you would do here is you put your dimensions down, and your dimensions would go in a couple different locations. Like for instance, I've got from here to here, and actually, it would actually be from here to here. So go from here down to here, pull across like that. So I've got those. So I've got some of those. And I've also got these other dimensions here. So I've got this dimension going from here to here, like that. And that's how you put in those. And then you have your diameter dimensions, diameter. And for instance, I'd go ahead and I'd touch this one right here. Go ahead and pull that one out. And that one will have a, okay. And there we have that. And then I've got these others where I've actually got these, or actually we're grabbing these. And pulling that out. Okay, now the notes that I have here, one thing about these is these were actually done with what's called a leader. Leader is right here. So if I click on leader, I'm actually able to take this and I'm actually able to specify where I want it to go. So I'm going here and I'm coming one off here. I'll go ahead and just point it right to here. I'm going to pull this off like there. And once I do that, I can go ahead and type in, whoop. All right. And I'll go ahead and type in P line 0.05 width. Like that. And that lets you put a note with an arrow on it. That's what a leader is. And I'll put a leader over here for the donut. Now, one thing about this is I'm having a tough time picking exactly. I want to pick a point that's kind of on this. So if I right click my mouse, I can go to my OSNAP overrides. I can choose nearest. Nearest allows me to pick any point on the circle without it being a pole or the center point. So I'll go ahead and pick a point right around here. And I'll go ahead and pull it up like this. And I'll go ahead and type in DONUT. Like that. So I got those in place. That's how we go ahead and put those in there. And that is pretty much how you do that. And then you put the text on the bottom, which you guys are all pretty familiar with. So then I go down here, I change, looks like I don't have a layer for my text, so that's okay. I put on the 0 layer, that's fine. Then I go down here and I would put in my text going down here, picking one point and another, and I type in drawing age. Drawing eye rather, drawing eye. So I have that. And then I can just move that over like this. So that is how we would do drawing eye, and we go ahead and say that. So let me stop for a second here. Any questions about this right here? I realize what I'm doing right now is just a lot of like, here's the mouse click, there's another one. And typically my preference is I teach this class typically in a 4 or 5 day format for professionals online. I just did that last week. I'll be doing it, be teaching Revit next week. So since this is only one night a week, it's kind of hard because I just have to show you how to do something and then have you do it, so that's kind of how it is. So anyway, that's how that is. So anyway, that is how we go ahead and draw that. So that is that one right there. So that's drawing eye. And so we'll go ahead and save the changes. And then the other one is drawing J. Drawing J is a bit more intense because you've got quite a bit going on inside drawing J. Not impossible, but it's by no means impossible. I'm going to show you every mouse click how to do it. And we'll go ahead and get into this. So drawing J, what does that one do? This one looks like this here. So drawing J looks like this. And this one has a lot going on right here. So what you've got to do with this one is you have to use a strategy where you actually begin to kind of like start by drawing it. And then you can actually start to actually like do kind of like an overall outside. And then we get to put the other points in there. That's the method that I use for this one right here. So that's what we have right here. So this is drawing J. So I'll get us started on this one. So the same thing. Okay, looks like I just got an email from somebody. But over here, make sure I'm not, yep, everyone's here. Okay, no one's trying to get into class, so that's good. And we will we'll do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Looks like someone came in and I didn't get them. So yeah, Max did. Okay, good. Okay, so we're good to go there. And we're going to go right ahead now and we're going to download the template for this one. So the template out here is in the same location that we've been looking at. So I'd go out here and I'd go to my AutoCAD intro assignments week, which is under week 2. And I'd go here to the drawing, the template for actually this one, this uses the basic drawing template that we used before. This is for drawing J. So I can go there, I download that, I already had it. But what I do is go to new and I'd go ahead and use this template. So I'd go to my, my downloads, which is located right out here. And I'm going to do this while I'm here. It's going to take this and pull it down here. Gives me no choice to do this. I'll go to downloads. I'll go to the basic drawing template. And the basic drawing template, let's go ahead and start here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm on the object layer again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by just kind of looking at this. Now, when I take a look at this, you're going to notice a couple things. First of all, it gives me an outside dimension here, 5.25 to here. Okay. So that's the outside dimension. And then the overall dimension is what you have added up right here. So here's where you could actually use a calculator to get that right there, or you could use something else. But right here, if I just type these values in, I can use the AutoCAD calculator. So just to show you how this works right here, there's actually a calculator in AutoCAD. So if I already go to here and I want to start to draw this, this first distance is, it's 5.25 here, but I have these little nubs sticking out. So what are the little nubs? That's a highly technical name, I know. But you got 5.25, and then you actually have 4.75 right here. So that means that there is a difference. The delta is 0.5 overall. It means it's these little ears right here and here are 0.25 out. So that means that this has got to be the difference between these right here is the difference between 4.75 and 5.25, which means it would be 5. Okay, so it'd be 5 by this dimension here. So let me show you how I'd go ahead and get this dimension here. So if I go here to AutoCAD, there's actually a, I'm going to start the line and I'm going to go here. The bottom line was going to be 5. So I'll go ahead and go over 5. Now this next one right here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and use my quick calculator, which is right here. Quick calculator is something that AutoCAD has. So we do this is actually a calculator right inside here. And I'm going to add up these distances. I'm going to type up, so I'm going to type in 1.75 plus 1.75 plus, okay, let's go up to here, try it up here. All right. Okay, 1.75 plus and 0.5 plus. And I'm getting these off the drawing. 1.75 plus 0.375 plus 1.25 plus 0.375 plus. Okay, and it's 6. So that's actually the size of it, 6 right there. So what I could do right here is I could just simply use that number 6. So I'll go here, line, and just go here and go up 6. So I used the calculator. I could have also used it to actually, I could have actually used that to copy other content, which I could do, but for right now we got that. So the basic idea is this. I'm going to save this as drawing J.
I think the bottom line is supposed to only be 4.75.
What was that now?
I think that the width is only supposed to be 4.75, not 5.
Let's see here, 4.75. Yeah, you're right about that. Good catch, good catch. I've done this little, yeah, you're right. So if that ever happens, by the way, let me show you a little trick here. That means I drew it very good. So if I go here, I can actually stretch it. And the difference is it's got to be stretched 0.25. So if I go ahead and go like this, I can actually take it here and stretch it backwards 0.25. Have any of you guys ever used stretch before? I'll show you.
Where is that?
Okay, stretch. I drew this wrong. Okay, so that was a good catch, Max. So if I go here and I've got 5 and 6, my 5 is wrong. Okay, so rather than redraw everything, I can use my stretch command. Now watch this. This is kind of cool here. I go to stretch, and stretch what allows you to do is actually use a crossing polygon to overlap what you want to stretch. Whatever you overlap with the actual green rectangle will actually stretch. Anything that's inside of it will just be moved. So watch this. I go here and pull it down to here like that. And I click here and I type in 0.25 like that. Now at this point, we just did that very quickly. So that's now 4.75. Okay, so we got that. Kind of cool. All right, so anyway, that's how you do that. Thank you for sharing that. That would have been like, that would have been a pain. All right, now down at the lower right, you're going to notice, you guys don't have that in front of you, but down at the lower right, you're going to notice it says 0.125. It's 0.125 in each direction. So that's a chamfer. 0.125 is a chamfer at the bottom. Let's do that one first. So to show how the chamfer works, chamfer allows you to break an object off. So I'll go to chamfer and I'm going to right click and choose my distance, which is going to be 0.125 in both directions. And the default is 0.125. So watch this. If I go here to here, let's me go ahead and break that off like this. We go here, we go there like that. So we have that. So 0.125 did that. And then at the top, we've got the same kind of a thing. We got 0.375 in this direction. And then the other one, that one is 0.25. So 0.375 comma 0.25. So that's what I have. So I'm going to make another chamfer. And the distance for this other one is not going to be equal to 0.375, enter 0.25 like this. So then I'll click on the longest distance. And then I'll click on the shorter distance like this. So I'm going to do that. We are looking pretty good here. So let me get a couple of, let me get a dimension on here, make sure that we're looking good here. So I'll go here, put a couple dimensions on here, make sure that we are where we should be. I believe we are. So I go from here. And by the way, I'm using linear. I'm not using a line. So that says 0.375. Okay, now if that happens, and in this drawing it will, you could actually fix this through a couple of things. First of all, not all the dimensions need 3 spaces. So what you can do is click on the dimension. And then when you right click on it, you can go to precision here and add a 0 like that. So that's something you can do. That's a real thing. And if I click on here, I can actually pull it right up. I just go ahead and click and drag it right up into there. And that's how we go ahead and start with that dimension right there. Okay, so we've got that. So that's 0.375 now. The other one is 0.125 down. Well, let's see, what else can I measure right now? Yeah, I can measure across the top and see if that's 4.25. It should be. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that's good. So we got 4.25 here. That looks good. And let's see what else do we have. That looks pretty good. And then at the bottom should be 4.75 across. So let's go ahead and measure that. Like that. So we are looking pretty good. Okay, so we got to start. So we got that going on right there, and the rest is just gonna be building it out as we started right here. So we're at 6:53 though. I want to give you guys a chance, give you guys a little break. So what we're gonna do is right now it's break time right now. I know very often my students have to put kids to bed or whatever, so we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll take it from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause this. We'll come back at 7 o'clock and we'll continue on through here. I don't think it's gonna take too long for what we're doing right now, but that's what we're gonna work on. So we're going to take a little break right now. And I realize that 1 or 2 of you guys just came in, but we're going to be taking a break right now. So we will come back at 7 o'clock and we'll continue. So I'll see you guys at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I just got in and I was trying to make it work. And then I realized, oh, wait, he already sent the link to the, I get to, it's only in a solar base too. What's on my laptop?
I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry if I'm late. I was trying to make my laptop on. I was trying to later thing. I'm trying to make this work, and I was like, "Oh wait, he sent it out in an email too." So that's what I tried to do, and it was still running as well. So I apologize if I'm late. I'm trying to mess here. I didn't want to be at all.
Not a problem. Not a problem. You can always watch the video. All right, we're taking a little break right now, as we always do, because I like to give people a chance to put their kids to bed or anything else they might need to do now. Before we continue with the rest of it. So I'll see you guys at around 7 o'clock. So I'm going to just pause the video and we'll continue after a minute here. So we're going to pause this here. Okay, welcome back. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry again for being late.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, good to have you guys here, and we're going to continue on. Just make sure I get everybody into the room here. So look at this. Okay, so anyway, what we're going through here, and again, for those of you that have showed up or missed classes, or and during the semester, you may miss a class for whatever reason. The video is going to be out there, and the video shows you everything you need to know for the class. So this is something that, you know, it's going to be available. It's the exact same thing. So everything I'm teaching right now is going to be available online. So you'll have that. So anyway, the quick calculator is still there. So anyway, this one right here, I went ahead and did that. And then a couple of other things that I'd want to do here, I've actually got a few things I want to add on to it. Like for instance, right here at the top of this particular object, I've got this. I've actually got this right here. I've got this small item right in here. I've got this right here. All the fillets and rounds are 0.125. That's one thing I want to point out here. So that means that this little notch goes in here. So that means it gets a 0.25 and then it goes down 0.375. So I could just make a line here and then offset it. If I do that, it might be the easiest way to get that done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make for right now, I'll go ahead and make, what the heck, I'll just go ahead and use my text layer and I'll make a line straight from the middle down. When I do this, it gives me this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this. I'll drop it there. Then I'm going to do this. I'm going to offset this line 0.125. Okay, now when I do this, I can offset it this way, like this. And actually, it's supposed to be 1.25. So offset 1.25 like that. Then I go from this side, this direction over to here and over to here like that. And then once I've got that, the distance down is the same as this here. So I've got this line. So I'm going to do this. I'll just go ahead and draw a line from here straight across. Okay, now when I've done that, take a look at that geometry. Okay, I've got that going on. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fillet this corner right here. And the fillet's supposed to be a radius of 0.125. Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll do this on this side, here to here. I'll go ahead and do it over here. Like there and like there. And then I'm going to trim it like that. Okay, now at that point, that should all be exactly as I want it to be. Okay, so I've got that right there. So again, it should look like this here. Okay, just carve that out of there. Let's find out if it, I don't know if I got it. So I think I did, but you know, I'm fallible as I showed just a little bit ago. And we'll go ahead and go here to here and we'll pull it up and we'll drop that. And that looks pretty darn good. And then at that point, we would want to go ahead and we got a few others. So we got that right there. Now that same method that I just showed you is what I'm going to use for down here as well. Down here, you've got the same kind of thing happening. Down here, you've actually got, 1, 2.253, and 4.75. So we got these. So I can offset those in the same kind of a way. So if I offset this 0.5 like this, I can go ahead and offset this 0.5 like this, and offset this line 0.5 like that. I got that. And then the bottom line to get that needs to be offset 1.5. Okay. So just to show what I mean by that, this distance is 1.5 right to here, 1.5. So I'm going to use my offset again and make it 1.5. I use offset to construct things all the time. It's just how I do things. And then I'm going to fillet that, and we'll see how that works. I'm going to fillet here to here like that. Looks good. I'll fill it on the other side. And it's actually not a bad idea to have your colors actually set up so that you could actually go ahead and see them as I'm doing this right here, so that you can then put them where they should be, just so that you get clarity. Okay, so I've got that. Now let me measure that and make sure that's where it should be. So here, and this should be 1 inch, and it is beautiful. So now at that point, I can use this offset line again. Now the next thing I have here is this here. This next one is 2.25. Well, that's going to be 1.125 right there. So I'll do that. So I'll offset that. Don't do this. I'll actually get rid of that. And so I'll go offset. Oh, by the way, the offset command is also here. I'm typing the letter, but you can also go to offset here. And if you ever forget the name of a command, you could always press F1. It brings up your help, and you can go here and type in offset like that. And then you could go to the offset command. And then if you click on find here, it gives you an arrow. You won't see the arrow right now on my screen because of Zoom, but it will point right to where it's at. So I'm going to go to offset, and this next one's going to be 1.125 like this. And I'm going to offset this one over this way and over this way. And then the next distance that I'm going to have here, it's going to be 1. So this distance is 1 to the top of this one. So I have to do that the next one like that. So offset the next one 1. So offset this line up here like that, and that gives me that. And let me try my fillet again. Let's see how this works. Fillet this line to here, to there, and fill this line from here to here. All right, like that. And if I got this right, and I think I did, it should be 2.25. And indeed it is. So we're so far so good. We're looking great. So go ahead and grab those, and we'll add those onto the object layer. And I grab this one, and this one. Like that. Okay, now at this point, the next one over is going to be 3. So it's going to be 3. So I'm going to offset that 3. And when I offset that 3, that's going to be 1.5, and then it goes up 0.5. So I'm going to do the same thing. So offset 1.5. Oops. Okay. Am I still coming through? Okay, I just got an error message. You doing okay? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
Yeah, you glitched it for like 2 seconds.
Okay, all right, very good. That happens sometimes. But now I go through here. Now, once I've got these right here, I can just simply add all these to the appropriate layer, which is going to be object. Okay, now once I've got that, then I just trim it all out. So I go to my trim command right here, and I just do this, and I can just kind of zigzag around here to get rid of what I don't want. All right. And that's how we trim stuff like that. And I can trim this too. Okay. And that is how we go ahead and put that together. Pretty darn cool. And so I'm going to do that. I've got one more item I need to mention here, which is here. All right, which one? 4.50. Yeah. So here to here. And then I got one more that goes in between. Like that. So we got those all there. We are looking good. So I'll go ahead and save it. And we got that there. So that completes those right there. And then I've got a few things on the sides. I got some circles. I got some other things. But for right now, I want to pay attention to the left side over here, where I've actually got this. This item is right here. It's 0.375 and 1.25 from the top. So I'll add those two together. 0.375 plus 1.25. So I'll clear this out. And so I'll go ahead and type in 3.75, 3.75, actually 0.375, sorry, 0.375 plus 1.25. And it gives me 1.625. So that's the distance that it comes down. So I'll go here and put it at 1.25 down from here. So go right down here, 1.65, 1.65, and I go over and I touch it here. And then how far out do I go? Well, I go out 0.5. That's what we learned before. And then we're going to go down. The distance down is 0.375. Actually, that's going to be 0.25, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, let's go at 0.25 out. So it's 0.25, boom. And then I go down 0.375. And then over like that. That's what that should be. And I'll go ahead and trim it. And we'll do this. All right, now that should be correct. Let's find out. Let's find out if we got it. So we'll go here. And all of these items right here are going to be pretty much put together in the same way. All right, there we have that. And we'll go ahead and go from here to here. Now, what we learned before here is this one's not giving me enough decimals. So if I right click, I can go to precision and change it to 3 decimal places. It's a little trick that we saw before. So go ahead and do this and stack it right there on top of these. Yeah. Okay. Next one down. Now I got to go down 1.75 from the bottom to get the next one. So I'll go object, I'll go line, 1.75 for the bottom. Okay, from here, and I'll go up 1.75, boom. I'll go ahead and touch it here. Then I'm coming out this way. Distance there, 6.25. Okay, so it's 0.75. And then over in this direction like that. And trim it. Okay, and then that right there, that should be, the other dimension should be okay. So let me check the dimensions first. And because then we just mirror to the other side, you know, once we get that right there. All right, so here, and we'll do this. Repeat dim linear, here to here. Okay, there we go. And then the last one is the very bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that one, which goes out to here, and we pull it over, and we are good. So yes, and they're all correct. So we got that. And this one's a fillet. So I'll go to fillet, and we'll just go ahead and touch it here and touch it here, and we are good to go. And oh, that's got to pull this down like this. So that one actually. And that one's got to be here. Yeah, it kind of took the fillet and moved it around there. Okay, so that's what we have right there. And if these are too close to the side, we can just grab them all and then use our nudge mode right there. Okay, I think you guys understand how to get the rest of this as far as the distances. One thing I will show you is the circle for the holes. The distance is 2.375, and across from each other. So to get that, rather than try to figure it out, I'll just do this. I'll go and I'll do this, which is 2.375 divided by 2 equals, and it's 1.1875. So I'll offset this 1.1875, and I'll go from here over and from here over, and that is where I would center my circles, and the circles would then be, you know, the circles are all have a diameter of 0.5. So I'll go ahead and put one of these on here just to show you how it works. Diameter, and I'd go ahead and touch it here and pull it straight across. And that would be 0.5, right? Yep. And then we put that on the right layer. And then we do this and we go ahead and make that happen like that. Okay, so then those all would need to be copied one apart. So I go ahead and copy it. Copy this from here. Okay, and that's going to be one apart, and then we'll continue on up 2 and up 3. And then we'd mirror it. Mirror this, all these right here, like that. And this is my mirror line, go over here like that, and you get the idea. And then I just go ahead and mirror these objects as well. Same kind of a thing over here, and mirror. Right. All right, so I'm going right down like this, and we got that. And then I just trim those out. So that is how we complete this one. Same kind of a thing that we did before, as far as like just using these different tools, and then you get rid of the dimension you have there. Again, practice. This is just going to be there for you guys to work with. So I'm going to save that one as well. And we got that. Any questions about that one at all? You guys all good? Okay. All right. All right. And again, I know this is a lot of like mouse clicking, but it's going to get better. And it actually is kind of fun as you get to know this stuff. And you can go over these videos at your own leisure to go ahead and figure these things out. So that is how we go ahead and put that together. I'm just going to drop one more dimension here just to make sure that it's correct. And I think it is, should be. Yep. And if it shows up like that, you click on it, you right click, you go to precision, you can add another decimal place right there. Okay, so we got that. So that's 2 down. We have one more to work on for this week. One more to work on for this week. And that one is going to be this one over here. And this is actually a file right here that's a floor plan. Now the floor plan actually gives us the basic dimensions here. And as I have this right here, I'm going to show you how to draw this. We're going to start with a polyline around the exterior. The polyline is what we want to do. And the width is 5 inches. So we'll start by drawing the polyline around the perimeter. What we want to start with here is, I believe we already downloaded the, I think, yeah, I already downloaded that. So I'm going to use that again. And so I'm going to close out of this and save changes. Yes. And I'm going to go ahead and start a new drawing. New. And I'm going to use the template that I had here, which was, where did it go? Looks like it, where did it go? Okay, it's not there. Excuse me. Let's see, maybe it's someplace else. Nope, maybe not. Let's see. All right, nope, didn't go there. All right, so I guess I'll download it again. So we'll do that. So back over to here. Excuse me. All right, this one right here. So this is the floor plan one drawing template. So I'll go ahead and download that. There it is. So I'll go to new and there it is. Floor plan one master. We'll go ahead and use this one. So go ahead and start this one. Now, as I had said before, I'm going to close out the quick calc. I don't need it for this one. I'm on the walls layer, which is a brown layer. If you want to show up better on this background, you can go here and change it from brown to yellow, which is what I'm going to do. Yellow is a more standard color. I won't grade you down either way, but if I go to Polyline right here, I'm just go ahead and trace around. So I've actually got the dimensions here. I'd recommend you do the same thing where you actually print this up and then you'll be able to go through this, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start at the top and go here. And so using a Polyline right now. So I go over 35 feet and make sure you type in the foot symbol. And then I'm going down 25 feet. Then I go over to the left, 14'3". And then I go down 3 feet. And I go over to the left, 7 feet. Back 3 feet. And then back in this direction, and this just distance is 13'9". This is all on the plan. And then when I get up here, I can just right click my mouse and choose close. And if I did it perfectly, it closes just like that. So now we have a nice closed polyline, okay? The outside, the width of our walls is 5 inches. So I'm going to offset and make the offset 5 distance. This is 5, press enter. Then I click on this polyline and I pull it in. This is why polylines are so valuable. I go ahead and bring it in, and now I got my polyline. So right there, I've actually got a very, very good start. I'm just going to drop a couple dimensions on here to make sure I got the overall dimensions here. So here to here, and that's good, 35 feet. I'll just go over here on this side, here to here, and 25 feet. So we got that. Okay. Okay. Let me just get a little drink here, guys. 1 second here. Okay, back at it. All right, so now back at this. Once I got this, I need to put in, I'll start with putting in one of the interior walls. And the interior walls over here, I've got like one right here that's actually 4 feet. And then it's 4'4". So it's 4 feet, then 4'4". It's a little wing wall there. So we'll work on that one. So when you're doing the line command, we are going to be using a tool in AutoCAD that's the extension line. Okay, so I can make a polyline or a line out of this one. But if I touch it right here, and if I pull it down, you'll notice it's tracking. I didn't click. There's a green plus sign and it's tracking. You notice my hands are off of it. I need to tell how far away from that wall it is. And it's actually 4 feet. So they're 4 feet. Okay, then I come out this way, 4'4". So 4'4" like that. And then the thickness of the wall is going to be 5, like that. And then go back like this, and we're going to touch it like that. So then when I got that, I could trim it out and just do this. And then we have that little wall there. Okay, now at this point, I've got that wall, and that's great. Now up here, I want to put in the door. Okay, so I got a door up here. Now let me show you something here. We're going to start to learn how to use blocks now. Now, blocks are something in AutoCAD that allow you to actually take predefined symbols and place them in your drawing. They're called blocks. And the easiest way to bring up the block palette, there's 2 different ways to do it. I'll show you 2 different ways. You can go to View right up here, and then you've got right up here, you've got blocks. If you click on blocks, it opens it up right here, and you'll see that here's your content right there. The other way to do it is just type the letter I and press enter, and that opens it up too. So either way, you get it this way. Now I've got this door. So if I click on the door right here, I bring it in, okay, and what I want the door to be, For this one, I just want this one centered. I don't really tell you what the side's supposed to be. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna drop it somewhere right around here. I'm gonna click, and then you'll notice it prompts me to go ahead and to rotate it. The reason why it prompts me to rotate is this down here. I actually click this, so it prompts me to rotate. So let me show you that again, just so that you guys are clear on that. If I don't have this rotated, then what happens is you bring it in and you drop it, and then you gotta rotate it yourself. But if you have this checked off right down here, which says rotation, you click there, touch it here and pull it down, pick a point somewhere there, and then you can go ahead and do this rotation, which is actually quite powerful. Also, in this particular case, you want to go this way. So in this particular case, I can just take it and move it on up like this. And I didn't give you guys dimensions, so that's all good. Now, the door actually cuts the wall. So to get it to cut the wall, I would go here to my walls, and I would just simply draw these little lines right here. I go a line here and then pull it straight across. And your object snaps will allow you to do this. And again, the object snaps that we want to use. Whoop, I see I missed that right there. See that? If you look carefully, I missed it. So you want to make sure that you're going straight. And when you do this, that little X right there, that's your extension object snap. That means it's going to find the other point. Okay, so you do that. So again, you always want to make sure that your object snaps are set with your endpoint, midpoint, center. You don't need quadrant, but intersection, extension, you can leave quadrant on there too. And now I just trim it. Just trim this out and bada boom, bada bing, like that. So I got that going on right there. Pretty straightforward. That's how you drop in a block. Okay, now the next set of walls over here, I got this. Now this one, this is 7'4" inside to inside. All right, and then the actual length of this wall. So it goes 7'4" over. If I want to get the inside of this wall right here, which I could do because that's what these are, I can go 7'9" over because of the thickness of the wall, and then go down 9'7". That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go 7'9" and then up 9'7". So back to here. 7'9" then 9'7". So I touch it here, I pull it over, type in 7'9", boom, and 9'7". Like that. Okay, so we have that. All right, and then once I've got that 9'7", I'm going to go over 9'7" again and then bring it back. So over here, 9'7" again, 9'7", boom, and then I just bring it right to here. And you notice the little X shows up, and I can actually snap it right to there like that. Now, that being the case right there, let's see, how do we do that? Okay, so then I need to offset that wall because that has to happen. So I have to offset it. So I'll offset it, 5. I'll offset this, and it's a polyline, so go ahead and do that. And if I did that right, and I think I did, we'll go ahead and give me the perfect distance. So let's go ahead and check it. So I'll check my dimensions by going here and checking my dimensions. And I'm going to go here, and I'm going to touch it here, and then touch it here, and that should be 7'9", and indeed, well, actually 7'4" is what it's supposed to be, going from here to here. So I'll go from here to here, and I'll go ahead and, oops, okay, I missed it, but I missed the snap. So I just pulled over here and tells me that I'm right, like that. Okay, and then I got 9'7" that I want to go ahead and I'll pick right from here to here. All right, we got that, and then I'll do the same thing going from here on down. All right, now those two kind of cross over each other, so there's a little bit of a problem here. If you ever get dimensions that cross each other like that, that's kind of obnoxious, you can click on the actual text and pull the text down so that they, looks more like that. But there's one other thing you can do, and that is you can actually use a thing called dim break. It's on the annotate tab, and the tool looks like this, dim break. And then you can click on any dimension, just press your enter key, and it breaks the lines that go through it. Pretty cool stuff. That's how we go ahead and make that happen. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to add a line here. We're going to line, and we need a line here, 6'6" over from the edge. So here, and go over from here, 6'6", 6'6", boom. And I'll go ahead and bring this down like this. And that's where my next door is going to go. So I have to put that on the right layer first of all. And we go ahead and do this. And then I go up here, and I go ahead and go to doors. And then when I go to door, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this, and this door actually needs to kind of like flip in the opposite direction. So that is what I'll do. I'll go drop this here and we'll leave that like that. Okay, now this one right here, I'm going to have to mirror that because that's not correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror it by going to mirror and clicking right here. Let's go ahead and mirror it like that. Resource object, yes. Then I'll move it over 3 feet. There we have it. And then you go ahead and do it this way. So a lot of this is just looking at dimensions, and I'm just showing you there's actually other ways to do this, but these are the ways that we've already kind of learned about so far in class. So that is how we go ahead and do that. Now, at this point, I've done quite a bit of it already. And then I got a 5'2" and then an 8-foot dimension here. So I got a 5'10" and then 8 feet for the next one. Just show where that looks like in the bathroom. 5'10" by 8 feet. So I'll do the same thing I did before, which I'll go ahead and start with my walls. I'll go here and I'll go from here. I'll go over 5'10", 5'10", and then I'll go up 8 feet. 8 feet like this, and I'll go back over this way. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll offset that line, offset each one of the lines, offset 5. Yep, that's right. Here, there. I'll do this like that. Okay, so we're looking good so far. And I left that other one open, so that's actually fine. But let me make sure that my dimensions are right. So here, we'll make sure that's correct. And you just want to keep on checking your dimensions as you're going through here, just to make sure that you are where you need to be. Okay, so go ahead and just pick a point right here, go here to here.
Wrong layer.
Yep, you're right about that. I will fix that. Good eye, good eye. Appreciate that. And very good. I can tell we got experienced CAD user here. All right. Or just a good eye, whatever. And I'll go ahead and pull this over like this. All right, now at this point, to move those to a different layer, by the way, if you just select these right there, you can then just go up here and tell them you want to put them on the appropriate layer. In this case, that's the dimensions layer. So we go there. That's how we do. And then we go to dim break again. And you could also just type it in, dim break like this. Dim break. Then you click on a dimension and just press your enter key. Boom. And it breaks it like that. Pretty cool stuff. And now, next thing I want to show you is I got these plumbing fixtures. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these, put them on the P-fixed layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these. So I'll go ahead and grab this tub, and the tub goes right along on the wall here. And I just kind of pick a point and just kind of slide along the wall like this. So I did that, like that. And then I'm going to grab the sink and do the same thing. I can actually just touch this wall and slide. Once I touch it, I can slide it along like this and get it kind of close like here. Okay, looks like I'm off a little bit. I'll try that again. Okay, so I'll go ahead and touch it here and pull it down. All right, we'll do that. And then the toilet. And this is these are very basic symbols. I'm just going to drop them in here like this. So I've got those. So I've got those. And once I have those in place, I kind of shook it right there. And so we're able to do this right here. So just click. And I'll just go ahead and make sure it's right like that. And I click. Okay, now I need a door there, which means I got to move this out of the way. So now that I have those in place, I will put in a door. So the door, what do I do with the door here? Well, the door is actually 2'2" from the other side. So I'll do the same thing I did before. 2'2" over. And so I'll go to my layer, go to my walls, and I'll go line. And from here, I'm going to go over 2 feet 2, 2 feet 2, like this. And I'll go ahead and go down like this, which is what we learned about. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my door there. So change my current layer to doors. I'll go ahead and touch it here. And I'll go ahead and I can place my door here. And then at that point, I can just leave it. And then I could mirror it, or I could just move it over 3, since I've just got part of it right now, which will work fine. So over here and type in 36, boom, and there we have it. And then I'd go ahead and draw another line. And we'll use the line command. So go from here on down, let me trim that out. Yeah. Okay, so that is how we go ahead and complete this. Now after that, there's just a couple more walls here. I'll just go ahead and draw them real quickly. And then I'll show you guys how to put in the windows. So going from here on down, there's a total of 13 foot 11. So I'm going to do this. I'll start here and I'll go from here down 13 feet 11. So I just touch it here, 13 feet 11, boom. And then I'm going to go over here. Now, to tell how far to go, I just take it this far, just touch it. And that allows me to snap to this. So I just pull out like this, and that we have that, like that. And then I could go ahead and just back it right off to here. There we have that. Then I could offset that. Okay, offset in this direction like that, and offset in this direction like that, and that's good. And then I could just, do this, trim that. Okay, and then that is a 10'7" wall that has to go there. So the line, and I'll say 10'7" right along here. And come on, you. 10'7", boom. All right, we got that. Okay, we have that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll drop another one. I'll drop the door. And that is how we go ahead and do that. So the door here. And this door is going to go, I'll have to do the same thing I did before, which is go here and drop it there. And then when I have it there, I'm going to have to flip it, but that's okay. I can actually mirror it right in position. So I'm going to mirror. And I can go ahead and just go right here. What the heck? Go ahead and do this, can't I? Couple different ways to do that. Yeah, just do this.
You put the mirror right in the middle of the door.
Yeah, you mean like right here?
Yeah, like 1.5 feet down from on the wall.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways you can do it here. Anyway, but that is how we're going to move this over 1.5, 18. Well, a few different CAD users here. Yeah, there's a couple different ways you can do that there. And I got to move it down there instead. So we'll go ahead and move it back. I'll just use my snaps. Snap from here to here, like that. Okay, now at this point, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and continue on through here. Go ahead and place this from here to here and trim that out. So trim that, and we have this now. So we got that going on. Okay, now at this point, that is pretty much what I want to be. Then I could just go ahead and, okay, yes. This is another little secret you can do with your fillet command, do that. And then I'll put in my dimensions, make sure we are looking good. The dimensions here. And make sure that we are looking good for the dimensions here. All right, 13'11", yep. And I'll go from here on over like this, do that. Okay, there we have it. Okay, so I'm going to just, as far as for the windows, I'll just show you how to do the windows too. I got a 4-foot window and a 5-foot window. So I'm going here to my 4-foot window, and my 4-foot window needs to be 12'9" from the edge here. So I'm going to draw a line here as a guide. So I'm going to draw a line here, 12'9" from the corner. So go here. And 12'9" is where it's going to go. That's where its midpoint is. So go 12'9". Then when I have this, I'm just going to go ahead and draw a line there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to use my change my to my walls layer. I'm going to go to 4-foot window. Click on this, and you'll notice it's coming right from the center point. I can just go ahead and grab that, and I can rotate it and just drop it. And then when I'm done, I can go ahead and get rid of it. That's pretty easy. So that is how I actually set these up for you to make life a lot easier for you, but it's not always that easy to work with dimensions, but in this case, it is. And so I got that. I'm going to go from here over to there, and 12'9". We are good to go. So that is how you place your windows. And I've got up here that I'm going to drop one off here. This one should be at the 5 foot is the midpoint here. So I'll do one more here just to show you the concept. And I think I'm going to stop there because I think you guys can do the rest of this on your own. So I'm going to go ahead and touch it here and go 5 feet. And we'll go ahead and do that. All right, now at that point, we're going to go ahead and bring in the 5-foot window. So go here, go to 5-foot window, and there it is right there. So I'm going to drop it there. That's all I got to do. All right, so as long when the blocks are set up properly, like these are here, it makes life really, really easy. So I'm going to stop there because I think you guys can figure the rest of this out. And then at the bottom, you just put the notation of floor plan 1. Wall width equals 5 inches. So I'm going to stop there. Any questions about this before I let you guys take over? No? Okay. Well, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys work on these. So due for next week is going to be these 3 drawings that we just did, which were going to be, again, the ones that we talked about, which are going to be drawing this one right here, drawing I, which is using a lot of the polar the polar array. And you got this one right here, which is another one right there. And then the other one that we worked on right here was just the last one was this floor plan, which is this one here. So those are the 3 that we're going to be working on. Those are due by the beginning of class next week. So as is always the case, what I'm going to do right now is do the same thing that I typically do, which is like I'm going to